Brand new video here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Enberg, and today I am doing my very first episode of a new series here on Max Talks Movies, and that is called Max Talks Oscars 2026, starting today, heading up until the Oscars in 2026, which is Sunday, March 15th. I will be here every single week with a new awards season video as we head towards March 15th, 2026. So my name is Max River. Welcome back, everyone, to Max Talks Movies. If you're new guys to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 400 subscribers by the end of this year, so it really means a lot by hitting that subscribe button and ringing that bell for notifications. I do movie, TV show reviews, these type of award show videos now, movie franchise rankings, out-of-theater reactions, breaking down the box office. I do it all. Subscribe, ring the bell, comment down below. What are your early thoughts on the outlook for the Oscars 2026? Is this an exciting award season for you? Are these movies that you're not really passionate about or even excited to see in the coming months? I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comment section. Also, guys, please hit that thumbs up button. So as I said, this is a new video series that I want to do because this will be just an intro video for me about talk about my experience with the Oscars. And then I'm going to talk about my outlook for the overall season, how I'm feeling about the season coming in. And then starting next week, I'll start to do some prediction videos weekly here. If it's picture, actor, actress, supporting actor, all those different type of categories as we lead into the Globes and the other big award shows that I'll be covering throughout award season. So obviously I've been covering the Oscars here on this channel for the last 2 or 3 years, but basically I would cover post Golden Globes and on, but really just talking about the winners, the nominations, and not really anything in between and doing the full awards breakdown. But I am someone, if you know me personally, I have been engulfed in award season, I would say since 2014 when I was 12 years old. I am a big sports fan and I was becoming a very big movie fan. Even though I liked movies, it wasn't ever like a passion for me until really I started watching the 2014 films that were later going to be nominated for the 2015 Oscars. And to me, the Oscars were a perfect blend of me of what I love about sports, which is the competition, these people against these people. You get winners, you get losers, but also it's about movies and performances. And basically, since that point, I basically watch for the most part, like 98 to 100% of all movies that are nominated, or basically since the last, 12 years now. So since I started the channel, for some reason, I don't know why it hasn't clicked to me that I just want to be an award season person covering award season. So that's why starting this week, I'll be doing videos basically every single Wednesday is my plan moving forward for award season. I've had a lot of videos this week, so I had to push this to Thursday. But I'm going to do this video every single week, once a week, where I either do an outlook, breaking down nominations of potential award shows, doing prediction videos, reaction videos, all of those things. So I'm excited to talk Oscars. This video today is just my outlook on the award season, not talking about predictions on who's getting in or not for the Oscars. Just giving my outlook, some of the highs and lows so far of awards season, what is going to come out over the next month and a half that will set award season completely in motion because we are from like the first quasi big award show, the Golden Globe nominations. Um, if I'm not mistaken, come out very soon. And they're announced December 4th. The show is January 5th. So we're already under a month away from Golden Globe. Like the first, even though I'm not a big fan of the Golden Globes, it's definitely the first telltale sign of where we are going here in awards season. So I think this is a fascinating award season where it's obviously we've seen the decline viewership of the Oscars, but I think this is my biggest storyline for me at least going into this year's award season is we talk about every year how these indie movies or awards films are usually always the front runners for Best Picture. This year, you could say that's films like Hamnet, Sentimental Value. Um, there's films like Marty Supreme. that usually are seemingly always in those positions to be the front runners. And usually there are blockbusters or mainstream movies that get into Best Picture, but that's really just for the nomination, not to be near the top of the list to win Oscars. If you're talking about Barbie, if you're talking about Top Gun Maverick, if you're talking about the first two Avatar movies or Black Panther, for example, these are all movies that got nominated for Best Picture, but obviously had no shot in those years to win Best Picture. Even last year's Wicked, which was a below the line success. Yes, it had above the line nominations, but no one thought Wicked was winning Best Picture last year. No one really thought the actresses were going to win for their performances. And here we are, in my opinion, a year later. And I think this is, if there's no other better year, I would say, for a more mainstream blockbuster movie to win Best Picture at the Oscars, because we have films like Sinners, Wicked for Good, who are going to be near the top of the list to win Best Picture, I think, this award season. That's not even talking about films like Avatar Way of Water getting in at Best Picture as well. It is a year that I do, and one battle after another, I would say it's kind of like the perfect middle ground where it's a big movie for sure. It's not an indie movie. It was not cheaply made, but it also isn't this like widely watched movie either. So the quasi blockbuster movies this year are Sinners and Wicked for Good. And Sinners is obviously a very beloved movie. Wicked for Good comes out next week, supposed to be another very much beloved movie. The first film was such a sensation and a surprise sensation. And I'll say going into Best Picture this year, it doesn't seem like the traditional Oscar movies have that much passion behind them. Um, People very much like Hamnet, Marty Supreme, one battle after another. Sentimental Value, Train Dreams getting a lot of attention. Begonia, Rental Family, Is This Thing On? The Secret Agent. These are all films that are obviously going to be in the mix in award season. I find it to be such a fascinating, a Frankenstein, for example, as well. But I do think this is the year where, basically, in my opinion, three blockbusters, again, in quotes, are going to be nominated for Best Picture. And that is Avatar, Fire and Ash, because the first two films were. And if Avatar 3 is on the level of the first two films, it will get in. Can never doubt James Cameron. Sinners and Wicked for Good are slam dunks to be nominated. I think if a blockbuster, as I'm going to keep doing this in quotes, if a more mainstream movie is not going to win Best Picture this year, I don't really know when that's going to be, because it seems like the films that people, both in the industry and out of the industry, are invested in are films like Sinners, like Wicked 2. I think one battle after another is getting very strong reviews. Hamnet, that movie also comes out in wide release next week. We'll see if that really truly becomes an awards frontrunner. And again, everyone, here we are in November. The Oscars are not until March. And if you learned last year, if you told people in November of last year that Anora was going to win Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actress, Best Editing, Best Writing, I think a lot of people would have told you, are you drunk? Is there something wrong with you? Because that film was, yes, a year ago, easily a heavy presence in awards season, but the momentum really shifted when we hit the new year and we had the DGAs and the WGAs lean in the factor of Anora, SAG as well, and that really set up a lot of momentum for Anora heading into Oscar voting, leading into the Oscar wins for that movie. Oscar season, much like sports, they have their ebbs and flows to it, where it seems like some movies have a lot of momentum, some movies don't. Like, for example, Avatar Fire and Ash has not come out yet. Hamnet has not hit wide release yet. Marty Supreme has not come out yet. Train Dreams, Wicked for Good. All these movies have not come out yet. And like The Secret Agent, these movies have not gone to, Song Sung Blue. All these movies have not hit wide release yet. And it's tough to judge. Here we are in November. But I think the reason why I'm saying that is there's no passion for these non-awards films. It feels like we've had a lot of awards movies for people that they think could be awards frontrunners. Like if you we're talking about, For example, Dwayne Johnson in Smash Machine, Jennifer Lawrence in Die My Love, Sydney Sweeney in Christie, Emma Stone in Begonia. These movies that felt like a month ago slam dunk Oscar nominations for these performances now really do not feel like, or even like Jeremy Allen White in Springsteen Deliver Me from Nowhere. These are performances that most of them honestly are not going to get nominated this award season. These are big time actors. Who knows if Ethan Hawke will slip in, if Kate Hudson and Hugh Jackman could slip in. Chase Infinity's going for lead actress for one battle after another. Does that hurt her chances? But my point is, there's a lot of build up to these movies like Springsteen, like Smash Machine, like Christie, like Die My Love. Big movie stars in small awards baitish movies that people thought a month ago, these people are definitely going to get in. And here we are a month later. It doesn't seem like Smash Machine has any momentum at all. It obviously doesn't seem like Die My Love is involved in the conversation whatsoever. Sydney Sweeney, that movie obviously tanked at the box office. Does that mean Sydney Sweeney will not get nominated at the Oscars? I don't know. But we're in such a fascinating situation here. We haven't gotten Jay Kelly yet, as well, for example. There are so many movies yet to release. There are so many movies that have been released so far that, for many people, have been very underwhelming. And that sets up, in my opinion, a very wide open race this award season. And that's why I said it's a huge opportunity for Sinners and Wicked for Good, not just to get the nominations in the major categories, but to win major categories. Like, I believe Ryan Coogler should be the front runner for Best Director. I think him and PTA are going to be battling it out, in my opinion, throughout awards season. And you have two very strong stories going on where we haven't had a black director win Best Director, have a great chance for Ryan Coogler to win, to be the first black director to win Best Director. And then PTA, who's been in the industry for well over 2 decades, has made a lot of films that have been nominated for picture. He's been nominated multiple times for Best Director, has never won an Oscar before for any of his movies. Can he sneak in for Best Director as well? That's going to be an interesting battle. There are definitely some fascinating stories, like Timothée Chalamet, for example, for Marty Supreme. He has been nominated for, obviously, his two performances in Call Me By Your Name and Complete Unknown. And while he won a SAG last year, people were kind of tasting the bug of, when will it be Timothée Chalamet's time to win Best Actor? And this year feels like a really strong year for Chalamet to win actor, because it's not as strong as a category. DiCaprio will be nominated. That's not really a performance many people think should win. Michael B has a good chance, but will he be nominated for being in a vampire movie, quote unquote? Wagner Moura has been a favorite. Will Joel Edgerton get in? Will George Clooney get in? Will Jeremy Allen White? Will Ethan Hawke? Brendan Fraser? Will Arnett? There's a lot of performances in there that could sneak in, but it's not like a race where there's one clear actor. So I think someone is going to seize momentum at this point. I would say Sinner's biggest disadvantage is the movie came out all the way back in March. Now, again, it didn't hurt a movie like Get Out for being nominated for multiple major awards, including winning Best Original Screenplay for Jordan Peele. Peele also got in for Director, Picture. Kaluuya got in for Best Actor. Now, it won Screenplay, probably should have won other major awards. It did not. And the question is, will that hurt Sinners as well? Like, look at Barbie. That came out in the summer, got nominated for everything, didn't win major awards. Now you have film like a blockbuster, quote unquote. You have Wicked coming out Thanksgiving weekend again. And if the movie is as good or better than the first movie, that movie is going to have a lot of momentum. Because I don't think people realize Wicked obviously was a huge hit back last year, but it took a while for that movie to become such a sensation. It wasn't like a slam dunk winner opening weekend, Wicked for Good, and the first Wicked, and then it just blossomed into one of the biggest stories of the year in 2024, and that pertains to Hollywood. And then it's getting in for actress and supporting actress and picture and all these awards. But again, John M. Chu, he was not nominated last year for the first Wicked for directing. Will he get in for director this year for Wicked for Good? Sequels, will this be like the Lord of the Rings situation where Lord of the Rings won Best Picture for a sequel? Will that mean Wicked for Good does as well? I think this is a very fascinating award season. Hamnet is a awards darling frontrunner. It hits wide release the same weekend as Wicked for Good. So we'll see if Hamnet is as good as people think. I have not had a chance to see it yet. I'm planning to see it next week as well. And luckily, seemingly, which has been a really nice thing for me recently, I am being invited to a lot of award screeners. I'm seeing Is This Thing On tonight? I'm seeing Rental Family next week. I also have a chance to see The Testament of Anne Lee next week, which is another big awards film with Amanda Seyfried. So I'm definitely going to be someone who, more than most years, will be ahead of the curve as of seeing most of the movies that are going to be nominated. Which is a very exciting feeling because back 10 years ago, when I was first getting into awards season, basically you would wait for the Oscar nominations and then those movies would be back in theaters. So you would watch the movies knowing they were nominated for Oscars. Nowadays, at least on my end, as someone who's become a critic, now I am seeing all these movies way ahead of time, which is really nice to see the pole positioning, the battles before we get these major nominations in the months to come. So I am very excited for this award season. I think there's a lot of movies that are currently been out already that I'm very passionate about. If that's Sinners, if that's Frankenstein, if that's One Battle After Another, movies that I think are excellent. There are also movies that I wish would be award season, not knowing they're not, like F1 or Roofman, for example. We also have a Knives Out movie coming out this year. It is a fascinating Weapons, for example, as well. So this is just my outlook. I'm excited for this awards season. I'm not underwhelmed by the awards movies, hopefuls as much as most people are, even though I'm not passionate about. I think there's a lot of okay to good awards hopefuls I've seen so far this year. But I'm excited for this next month and a half leading into these major nominations at these shows. So next week, I think I'm just gonna get right into it. My best picture predictions. I'm very excited to be covering awards season. So definitely stay tuned to my channel. Like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you guys in another video very soon.